Hi everybody, this is Harmony with Harmony Stitches, and I'm coming to you with a bonus episode about knitted and crocheted beaded purses. I know that I hinted about this the last two times we chatted together on my regular episodes. I had technical difficulties at the last episode, so I was not able to include this information. So here I am. I learned about knitted beaded purses from Sue at Victorian Purses by Sue in my hometown, St. Charles, Michigan. Her mom used to make them and then taught her. And then after her mom passed away, she kind of, I don't really know what the driving force was behind it, but she started classes in her garage and then opened like a little store out of there. And then she grew so large that she needed to get a storefront. So now she's in my hometown here. And she has all the supplies that you need, the needles, the pearl cotton, in every color available, all of the beads in a couple of different sizes and shapes even, because some of them are cut different, and the frames and the chains and everything that you need to make these she has, even little accessories. And I don't really have many of the accessories, but I can show you the one that I do have. So, to make these, you do, sorry if that, snap was a little loud. You do use, pearl cotton. This is DMC. Oh, this one's Finca. But she has Finca and DMC. And this one is a royal purple. It's, I don't see the, oh, it's number 260. Finca. Ooh, that's shiny. So you need that. That's to start off with. Then you need beads. If you're going to knit a knitted beaded purse or a crochet beaded purse, you need the beads. I'm trying to be careful here because, okay, this is a full hank. This is a full hank of clear, but of course it wants to wash out if I get close. And then you need the knitting needles, which I told you on my last video that they're called 04, which means 0, 0, 0, 0. And this is how big they are. And they probably, well, yeah, I was going to say they probably look bigger than what they are. But yeah, I mean, they're not super tiny. There's probably smaller. You could probably knit with a toothpick. Well, this is probably the same size as a toothpick. And I know that that probably seems crazy, but once you get going, it's not that bad. Okay, so first I'm going to show you the one, sorry, this chair is not comfortable. I'm going to show you the one that I have going that's been sitting here waiting for me, and I'm going to tell you why I don't like it and I don't know what to do. So this is the pattern cover, and this is the one I'm making here. And as you can see, it has fringe, and the fringe is hanging down. And mine is not. My fringe basically sticks straight out. And I don't know why. It kind of looks like a dust mop. And while it would be pretty interesting, I think, to have it be that way for the entire thing, I'm not sure if I like it. So this is what the inside of the purse looks like. And then this is the outside. And what happens is you cast on, and it's going to be this is the top edge. You cast on and you work down to the bottom of the purse, and then you work opposite to get back up to the top on the other side, and then you whip stitch the edges together and put on your frame. And I'm going to show you, I don't have any other ones in progress, but I do have some that are finished, and I think you'll be able to see what I'm talking about when I show you. So one of the first, I actually started with crochet purses, and I have one that I made for my daughter's best friend, and I'll insert a picture here because I obviously gave it to her and I don't have it. I wanted to put a frame on it, but the shape that I made the bottom to fit a phone in, I made it the shape, and it was not lending itself to put a frame on it. And a frame is, this is a frame. And they come in a couple of different shapes and sizes, obviously different, and I'll show you different looks to them. This is a gold one, a gold tone one, very shiny. It was not lending itself to do that, so I had to rip the frame off, and I already had it glued down and everything. I had to rip it out, kind of redo what I was thinking, and finish it off. And then I found another crochet pattern that Sue has in her shop. It is from a different designer. Most of the patterns that she has are hers, but then she has patterns from other designers as well. And that, I don't know if I have the pattern here or not to show you. The shop sample was gold and black, and it's really pretty. But I made my first one in red. Oh, yep. The shop sample is in gold and black, but the model on here is in blue and clear with black floss or black cotton. I made red and black for our school colors for my daughter for homecoming. And it's really cute. So this is much different than the knitted ones. So with this one, you start right here in the center and you crochet however many it tells you to crochet, and then you have the beads all strung on. Before you even start, you put the beads on. And then you end up making fringe like this. And then when you come back through to do the next round, or before you do the next round, you actually crochet a single crochet along the bottoms of the fringe, and it closes them up like that. So that's really cool. And then you do that the 3 times to get the red, the black, the red. And then there's more steps to do the fringe on the fringe hanging down and then the top row. And if you do that and you use it as a coin purse, you need a lining, otherwise your coins or whatever you put in there is going to fall out. So you always add a lining, and it also protects your beads. So in this one I did red with black trim, and it's called GIMP. I don't know why it's called that. I don't even know how to spell it, but it's GIMP, and that's a gunmetal frame. And see how it's more basic and simple versus the gold that is very detailed. I liked that one because it uses my main skill of crochet, my main thing. I found some beads in her clearance section, which were these colored ones, and I said I want to make one of those using those colored beads. So I looked in there and I found a bead color, and I pulled that bead color out, and I went to, what is going on there? Look, it's a little funky there. It's not supposed to be like that. Let's turn it around. It's funky there too. I don't know why. So then I found this pink set of beads on the rack, and it has some orange and some different colors you can see. And then I picked the pearl cotton, and you can see here the pearl cotton is pink. I have since used that pearl cotton in cross stitch projects, because you can definitely cross stitch with pearl cotton. So that way everything was all tied in together. And then on the inside, I used a hot pink, bright pink lining and a small GIMP in white. So that was the second one. Oops. Second one. So then I'm like, okay, I got this. I got this crochet thing down. But then I had already tried the knitted version, and I kind of failed. I kept dropping my stitches, and then I mean, the stitches are this big, right? They're this big. And it was very difficult for me to pick the stitches up and to fix it, and I ended up having to start over. And I started over a few times. I actually kind of cried because I felt like I was failing, because I knew how to knit. Like, how could this be much more difficult than that? It was to start because your hands weren't used to the smaller needles and the materials that I was using, but they did get used to it. So I sat the knitted purses down, tried the crochet ones, came back, everything was perfect. So I think that the first knitted purse that I did was this one, and it's very small. It's the size of my hand. This one is the basic starter one that she recommends for people to try. It's called the finger purse. I don't know why. And I decided to use, I dabbled in jewelry making, so I did have some supplies on hand. And I had leftover orange and clear from a previous project. And this one, I figured out the counts, because Sue on her patterns gives you the counts of the beads that you need per row. So when I was stringing them, I stringed them orange, then what did I need for the next row, and then I strung them on like that, so that way I could make that striped pattern. And so I started at the top and knit down to the bottom, and then I think there's a middle row or two or three, whatever, there's middle ones to make the bottom, and then you start decreasing. So in order to increase on these, you start with 2 beads in between your knit stitches, then you do 3 beads in between your knit stitches, then 4 beads in between. So that's how you get the width. So then when you get to the bottom and you finish your bottom rows, and then you start back up the other side of the purse, then you do the amount of rows, and then you start decreasing the amount of beads in between your knit stitches, and that's how it gets narrower again, and then at the top. So the first couple of rows are just plain knit, and you need those to be able to sew the frame on to your purse. So that was my first knitted purse. I felt like a success, and I could move on. I did make a couple, one little tiny keychain size purse that did not have a frame on it. Some of them do. She has little tiny frames for keychain ones. But it did not have a frame on it, and I gave that to a former coworker / friend's daughter as a gift. So I don't have that one to show, and I don't even think I took a picture of it. But then I was ready to dive in to bigger purses. My daughter said, "Yep, Mom, I want one for homecoming." I said, "Okay, I'll make it for you." So we went and picked out which one she wanted. She wanted one called Razzle Dazzle. And it's a pretty hefty purse. It's pretty large. Let's see. It doesn't say, oh, it says size 11 beads. I can't remember what size I used. But you can change the size of the purse also by using a different size bead. But she said she didn't want one that large. She wanted it smaller. Still probably to fit her phone. And I said, okay. So I talked to Sue. We figured out how many to cast on, what beads to use, and I went through that process. And I don't remember if my daughter had her dress and shoes or not, but she wore a deep, like a burgundy maroon red and silver shoes. So we went with a silver bag, and this is our version of, let me move the handle. This is our version of the Razzle Dazzle. And it's a rectangular purse. See, it's rectangular. And then the fringe goes on it. 2 layers of fringe go on a diagonal. And you just make the diagonal by moving the location of the fringe. But this one, and my tension is not well, but it's homemade and it's made with love for my daughter, and she does not mind. This one is a pretty time consuming no matter what version you're doing, because you knit a stitch, slip a bead, knit a stitch, slip a bead. So the entire thing is encrusted with beads, the entire thing. And so that's yeah, I made this in 2 weeks because I was determined that since we spent the money on the materials and she wanted it and she was counting on it, I was going to get it done for homecoming. So everybody was impressed that I got it done in 2 weeks. But I'm like, what's a mom to do? If you promised your daughter she's gonna have it, you gotta get it done. But they were impressed and awed by that because the knit one, slip a bead is a slow process because it can be rhythmic, but at the same time slow because it's not knit, 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 slip two, knit, 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 slip two, you know. If you're a knitter, you understand how rhythmic and fast the just plain knitting can go. So in the inside, we did a shimmery silver with some silver gimp. And lots of people actually donate supplies to Sue so that way the customers can go and match things up. So some of the linings and all of the gimp I've received from Sue's shop. And I believe some of the linings and the other ones too. I did buy some black to use, but everything else I got from her. But this is the original version of the Razzle Dazzle, and this is actually hanging in her shop. She has all these shop models, and you can see it, and it's pretty. This is the finger purse, and see how they're all different shapes, and it just depends on the bead you use and how many beads you're slipping in between your knit stitches, and it just makes it. This is the size that I made right here. And then, oh, this is the Victorian doll purse that I made for my friend's daughter. I did not put a frame on it, and I think I just crocheted or knitted a cord to put on it. And that one was pretty easy too. So she has all different kinds of patterns. Uh-oh, I'm messing up my patterns. Okay. All different patterns at her shop for you to choose from. She also does classes, so if you're brand new, she will help you out from beginning to the end, from picking out your supplies, from your needles, your pearl cotton, your beads, everything, finding a frame. Sometimes you pick the frame at the end, sometimes you pick it at the beginning. But again, I mean, it just depends on your budget and the outcome of the purse, because sometimes, at least for mine, it didn't always turn out the way that I wanted. I think for this one, I had a different frame picked out, but then when I went to purchase it after I was all done, it didn't quite fit right for whatever reason. It might have just been my crochet gauge. So you would think that I would have it down because I made this one and it would be the same size, but it wasn't quite. But she helps you from beginning to end, picking out your supplies, getting you cast on, getting you started, helping you read the pattern, because they're not, I can't show any of it to you because they are paid patterns, but she has it all laid out and even has boxes for you to tick off your rows, because it's really important, especially in the more complex purses, to know what row you're on, because you don't want to, like I said, with the small stitches, you don't want to have to unknit, because you can't just rip it out. You have to actually unknit all of them, and then it can wear and tear on your pearl cotton. So I know this was well, it's not fairly short. It's about 18 minutes or so, an extra video. I want to thank you for stopping by, but that's really all I have to share with you about knitted and crocheted beaded purses. I will list the shop information in the description box below this video, so that way if you want to check Sue out and contact her, or even just stop by and see what she has to offer. That's not the only thing that she carries in her shop. She does have regular knitting and crochet supplies, yarn, needles, hooks, all kinds of things, and even other craft supplies as well. It just depends on the trends and where her customers go in their crafting adventures. So I'll put that information down below. Again, thank you for hanging out with me for this very special video, and I hope to see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.